everybody, it's David here and welcome to Digital Doxology. Today is a short tutorial that I'm going to do called using a simple chord progression to create a song. And so before we get started in just a moment, I'm going to make a couple of assumptions. I'm going to assume that you have a piano keyboard with you and that your piano keyboard and your computer are set up in such a way so that you can see your piano and your computer at the same time. So let's get started. Today's tutorial is using simple chord progressions to create a song. Let's go. So one of the things I just mentioned was having a keyboard to get started on this. If you don't have a keyboard, just watch, and then you can always come back and watch this video later when you have a piano in front of you so that you can take a look at your keyboard. If you have your keyboard, then let's get started. So have your keyboard ready. But maybe you said, David, we don't have a piano keyboard. You can find keyboards in lots of places and lots of ways. Let me show you. Go to yard sales in your neighborhood. Maybe walk around and look for yard sales in your neighborhood, or thrift stores like Goodwill, Salvation Army. Sometimes you can find keyboards for sale on yard sales or some of the Salvation and Goodwill stores, and you can find them at a really good price. Just make sure that they work and they have all the power packs that you need, or that it will take batteries or something. So just check that ahead of time, make sure it works. You can also go to places like Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, or Target stores. There are lots of great starting keyboards you can find for under $100. Also, ask a relative or friend, someone that you know that may have a keyboard that they aren't using. Maybe they'll loan it to you or sell it to you at a cheap price. It's always worth asking. Or if you don't have a keyboard, maybe you have a phone or a tablet, iPad, a Galaxy tablet. There are lots of piano apps that you can get for your mobile devices where you can actually play a piano right on the tablet. So lots of possibilities for having keyboards. Let's take a look at the piano keyboard itself. One of the things I always tell my students to do is I'll have them look at the piano keyboard and look for patterns. And I'll say, I want everybody to look for patterns on the piano keyboard. What patterns do you notice on the piano keyboard? The patterns on the keyboards of the black keys to the white keys. Patterns of 2s and 3s. And this is a way that I use to establish them on how to find middle C, or how to find C, is to look for the 2 black keys. When you find the 2 black keys, C is going to be right to the left of the first black key. There's C. Now middle C happens to be right in the middle of the keyboard. And so that's going to be an important starting point. Know where middle C is on your keyboard and notice the patterns of 2 and 3 black keys. And remember, there's only 7 letters in the music alphabet. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Then it starts over. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and so on. So I always start with getting my right hand on the keyboard. Chords are an essential element of all musical styles from past to present. Chords are composed of 3 or more notes played at the same time. Chords are arranged in a structured progression that helps you to organize the music. C major is usually the first chord I teach. That's a good starting point. This is an easy chord to make, and it takes just 3 notes. C, E, and G. C, E, and G. Take a moment and try that on your piano keyboard. That's the first starting point of making a chord, the C chord. Of course, on our hands, you put your hands on the keys. I'm just going to use the right hand right now. Right hand, thumb is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the pinky. So you want to put your thumb on C and your pinky on G. then just play the notes in between, C, D, E, F, G. Notice how I'm holding my hand on the keys, almost like I'm holding on to a ball or an egg, some people say, or a bicycle handle. So you're going to have your hands in kind of the shape like this on the keys. Not like this and not like this. If you have your hands like this, or you're playing notes like this, that's the wrong way. You want to use the whole hand, all the fingers. Let all the fingers do the work. And hold your hands like this on the keys. That's a good starting point. Notice on the left hand, the thumb is going to be 1, but the thumb is on G. And the pinky is on C. And the other hand, the right hand, is going to be just the opposite, a mirror. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinky's going to be 1 on this hand. Or, I'm sorry, the pinky's going to be 5 on this hand. Thumb is 1. Thumb is 1 on your right hand. And then you play the 5 notes like this. Just the first 5 notes of the C scale. C, D, E, F, G. And play the first notes of the C chord with both hands. Take a look at the starting 4 chords in C major. Put your fingers on C, E, and G. With the left hand, C, E, and G with the right hand. And just play that chord 4 times just to get used to it. Something like that. So just 4 beats. And try that a couple times so that you get comfortable with that before you move on to the F major chord. Now look at the F major chord and look at the notes. Your thumb is going to stay on C and your pinky is going to stay on C, but you're going to move the other fingers to the F and the A. So F major looks like this. And I'm going to play it 4 times, just like I did before. Go back to C, F, C. Try that a few times so that you get comfortable with that. Now let's go to G major. It starts with D, G, and B. Do the same thing that you did before, but with the new notes. Play it 4 times. F, C, and stop. Now go to the A minor chord. E, A, and C. Like this. Play it 4 times just like we did before. And F and C. All right, so you're going to practice. Take a few minutes on your own sometime and just practice those 4 chords. C, F, G, and A minor. All right. Now, after you practice those 4 chords, let's try using a progression. What you just did is a progression. If you play C major, F major, G major, and A minor in order, then that is a progression. A progression is how you progress from one chord to the next within a key. So C, F major, G major, A minor. Repeat it. You just did a chord progression. That is number 1 on the chart that you see. C major, F major, G major, and A minor. If you keep repeating that, that is a chord progression. All right, but take a look at the chart on the screen in just a second. You're going to see some more chord progressions that are a little different. Let's take a look at the blue line. It's a little different. Once you get comfortable making the 4 major chords, then practice making them in different progressions. Let's try pattern number 2. And I'm going to play it on the piano, and I want to call out the chords, and starting on C major. So each time I'm going to play it 4 times. Each chord I play 4 times. C major, G major, A minor, F major, go back. Stop. Now I'm going to do chord progression number 3 in red. A minor, F major, G major, A minor. Let's listen to it. Starts on A minor. So 4 times for each chord. That's a nice chord progression for like a chorus in your song. So once I get the chord progression, then I can decide when I'm writing a song whether I want to play each chord 4 times. It says each chord is usually played for a full measure or 2 before going on to the next chord in the progression. You can hold the chord or play it broken, or you decide. This is where the creativity is going to come in. So I'm going to do pattern number 1, but watch how I do it differently. I'm going to start with chord progression number 1, C major first. Watch what I'm doing with my hands. Here's the chord. Now watch how I play the chords. What I just did is called an arpeggio. I took the chord and I just played the notes in an arpeggio. It sounds very nice. So you don't have to play chords like this. Staccato, or you can do that, but you can also play them as an arpeggio. Now to play a melody using these chord progressions, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to record myself playing the chords. I have a little recorder here, so I am going to record myself playing those chords. Here we go. I'm going to record my first pattern. 3, 4. Now I'm going to arpeggio. Stop. Let me turn it up. Ready? Here we go. You're going to hear the little, that gives me a count in. Then I'm going to make up a melody in the notes of C major. And we'll show you how that goes together. So here goes. Play. Let me record it. All right, so I'm going to record while it's playing. 3, 4. stop. So what I did was I just made up a melody using those notes in the chord, and let's see what it sounds like when played together. Here's in C, F, G, A minor. And that's the beginnings of a song. You could make up your own melody using notes in the key, like C major. Your melody is going to have the notes that are in the chord, but they're going to be different rhythms than the chord. And that's the beginnings of making your melody. So each chord, you can play it as many times as you want. You can play them 4 times or 8 times, or you can stretch them out. You can arpeggio. You can do your chords as an arpeggiation, or you can play them as chords like this. It's really up to you. But that's the beginnings of creating a song. And there are so many possibilities of different chord progressions. Take a look on the screen and you will see more chord progressions. Just using those 4 chords, you can create a number of songs. C major, F major, G major, and A minor. You can alternate them and do them in different ways. Let me show you. Listen carefully and I'll play the first pattern. C major, G major, F major, A minor. Let's try number 2. Number 3. And so on. You get the idea. So you can practice using those chords in different ways. So step 1 to do this week is practice those 4 chords. Step 2, come back to the video and look at the progressions that are on there. See if you can follow those progressions. And step 3 this week is to practice making a melody on your own using those chords. Playing chords with the left hand and make up a melody with the right hand. So next time, I'm going to introduce 2 new chords in the key of C to give you some more harmonic choices. And next week, I'm going to also demonstrate the benefit of using musical surprises to keep the interest in your music. So I hope that you find this tutorial helpful. And again, remember in the first video that I put on, the important thing is to practice, practice, practice. So I hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed this. Please hit a like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring the little bell so that you will be notified when the next videos come out. Have a great day and have a great week. This is Dave from Digital Doxology saying bye.